Let's talk about Apple news for this following Friday. This one we actually talked about a while ago, but now they actually have been sentenced. So they were perpetrators of a 1.5 million gift card scheme, and they were finally sentenced to a combined 8 years in federal prison. For this story, kind of broke a long time ago. We did talk about it, but two gentlemen basically stole what we call Isaac systems, or point of sale, or Easy Pay. That is what we call it. They were renamed to Isaacs. I remember they had a competition about that.
Yeah.
And someone put Isaac down, and that person's a moron for making that decision. But bottom line is that they also have to pay $1.26 million in restitution for Apple.
Yeah, that's...
So let's talk... And the scheme was that they loaded gift cards into Apple's Passbook, an application that generates the QR codes for the value of the gift cards, sent screenshots of those codes to his accomplice, which would then use them to purchase thousands of dollars of Apple products from all different stores in New York. And I think this guy was in Arizona. So it was a scheme. And actually, I think there's another person involved, but they have not revealed who that was. But clearly, all these guys, one of them at least had to work for Apple for this to happen.
Yeah.
So
it's in here. They said the defendants thought their multi-million-dollar fraud would go unnoticed simply because they targeted a trillion-dollar company.
Right.
They were sorely mistaken.
Mm-hmm. So that was an interesting case that we read this week. Another one, which I thought is kind of in line to what I've been saying for a while on here, is that the Apple Store, and this is how it was written, the Apple Store genius gives a coding class to no one in a viral TikTok. So a TikTok went out of an Apple, it says an Apple genius is giving a coding class, but nobody's paying attention to it. They literally had this guy in front of a screen. He's talking about coding, but no one is literally there watching it. So it's not a genius. It's likely a creative that's doing this.
Right.
Let's get that straight. But bottom line is that he is talking and doing classes without anybody paying attention to it. And this is in a big Apple Store.
Well, I have to say that's I would not say that that's abnormal. We've done sessions where nobody was there, signed up for it. So one of the things we would try to do is to go through the session and hopefully attract some customers that were in the store.
Yep.
And introduce them to whatever it is we were trying to teach. So I don't know that that's that far out of the ordinary, other than the fact that it's a big screen and,
It's a bigger store. It's not like one of our small screen stores, which, by the way, Apple is criticized for as it is regarding having this small screen inside of these stores when you can go to these bigger stores that have a full flat video screen. And my plan is to do a whole video on an Apple Creative and what has happened to it. And this is a perfect example of something that really needs to be addressed immediately, because these people are going to be out of jobs. I don't think let's say this. I would say they're not going to be out of job, but they're going to be moved to a different position.
Well, I mean, let's face it, the mall stores are always envious of the standalone stores that are designed to have, let's call it a conference room or a huge big screen TV where the creatives can conduct a class and have a huge screen for their audience. Now, the stores in the mall obviously weren't designed for that. So what they've tried to adapt is to have these sessions on a fairly large, 50-inch TV.
Very big.
With a table that you could have 6 or 8 individuals around, and you could conduct the session that way. One of the problems that we had, though, was the residual noise from the other part of the store. Whereas the bigger stores, it's in a quiet room, so everything's kind of focused on what's being taught. In a mall store, there's what's being taught and everybody else talking at the same time. So I don't know if they're ever going to be able to address that issue, but
I don't think they will, honestly.
No.
I don't think that could be possible. So that's just a story I thought that was interesting because it's really a sentiment to how I feel about where the Apple Creative has gone. And I could swear to God, if they brought one-to-one back, I guarantee you it would make a big difference. But that's a subject for another day. And then finally, Apple actually already announced their WWDC for 2022, taking place June 6th through the 10th. They have not said what day it is. However, it will be a free event like it was last year. And there is going to be no in-person gathering.
Yeah, I'm a little sad about that, but hey,
I'm not surprised by that. I'm not.
No, I'm not. I can't say I was surprised about it, but still, I was. I just missed that. Not that I attended any of those, but it was nice to see that huge developer base.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
it is what it is, as they say.
That's quite an early announcement. We're talking months away from this.
Yeah.
So it's quite a long time to wait for. But I'm hoping Apple really does something big with their software, especially iPad OS. It really needs to be separated from this iPhone look. It really has to. I hope they can find a way. But right now they haven't really found a way. That's it. See, his silence tells me everything.
Why do you think that's such a deterrent?
Because it needs to be there needs to be pro apps on there, like real pro apps.
Well, okay, but I don't think. See, I think part of the appeal of the iPad is that you can go from your phone to your iPad, and everything pretty much looks the same. You already know how to operate it. Now, the fact that you want to add pro apps to it, well, that's fine. Okay.
Right. And that's what I think they need to do, especially when they have these fast chips in there.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the look and feel of the.
No, I think the OS still needs to be a little different than the iOS, but try to maintain everything the same. They're on their way. Like universal control is a great method of something that an iPhone can't do, like something that an iPhone can't do. That's what I'm kind of looking for. Or like having the second display be available. Those are like the little things that can help compared to the iPhone. They got to do more of those things.
Yeah, but do you think but those are things that are more for the I'll say the advanced user rather than the common user.
That's fine. I'm sure that's a feature you have to turn on, so I'm
right.
That's fine. I totally get that. I completely agree.
So maybe you should have an iPad Pro with pro features.
Well, put them on there then.
Well,
it can't just be hardware. It can't just be hardware though. I mean, I would never buy a Pro. I could never imagine, unless I was an artist, I could never imagine buying a Pro ever. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
But if the iPad Pro had Final Cut Pro, had Logic...
but it wouldn't matter to me because the MacBook Air has the same thing.
Okay.
Not the MacBook Air, I'm sorry. The iPad Air has the same thing. It has an M1 chip in there. It's got the same chip. So it wouldn't matter to me. Now, iPad, I wouldn't buy the regular iPad. That would definitely lead me away towards it. But that's my point. It's got to do something... big-time software.
Something that distinguishes the models in line one from the other than size.
That's correct.